hold on, because what just happened involving the Golden State Warriors might be the clearest sign yet that this franchise is about to make a massive move that could shake the entire NBA, and if you blink, you might miss the moment everything changes. Before we go any further, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your opinion in the comments right now, because this is one of those debates every real Warriors fan needs to be part of. So here's the situation, and trust me, it's as chaotic as it gets. What unfolded live on national television wasn't just another sports debate. It was something way bigger. Two top-level insiders, same network, same topic, completely opposite information. And the topic? Tyrese Maxey potentially heading to the Golden State Warriors. Now, usually, when you watch shows like First Take, there's a flow. Someone makes a claim, someone disagrees, they go back and forth, and then they move on. But this was different. This felt real, unfiltered, almost like we were watching the behind-the-scenes chaos of an NBA trade negotiation spill out in real time. The conversation started simple. Warriors off-season. That alone is already a loaded topic. There's uncertainty around the roster, questions about the future, and even whispers about Steve Kerr potentially stepping away. That's not small. When a coach like Kerr becomes a question mark, everything else follows. System, rotations, player roles, all of it. And then the discussion naturally shifted to what the Warriors actually need right now. Not just to survive, but to stay relevant in a Western Conference that's only getting stronger. And the answer that kept coming up? A young, dynamic guard. Someone who can play with Steph Curry now, but also carry the torch later. And that's where Tyrese Maxey enters the picture. Think about it for a second. Maxey in the Warriors system. The speed, the off-ball movement, the ability to read screens, the shooting, the energy. It fits almost perfectly. You put him next to Steph, and suddenly defenses are in a nightmare. You can't double Curry without giving Maxey space. You can't focus on Maxey without losing Curry. It becomes pick your poison, and either choice hurts. So the idea alone already had people talking, but then ESPN decided to bring in two insiders to give real updates, and that's when everything flipped. On one side, you had Adrian Wojnarowski, one of the most connected voices in the NBA, a guy who doesn't just speculate. When he speaks, it usually means something is happening behind the scenes. And according to him, the Warriors and the Sixers had already engaged in serious discussions about a deal centered around Maxey. Not just surface-level talks, but real frameworks. Players, picks, structure. He went as far as saying the deal was closer to happening than not. That's not a small statement. When someone like Woj says that, the entire league pays attention. But then, on the other side, you had a Warriors beat reporter, someone embedded with the team, someone who talks to people inside that building every day. And his message? The complete opposite. According to him, the deal had hit a wall. Not just a small obstacle, but a serious impasse. The Sixers' asking price was too high. Multiple first-round picks, top young players, and salary pieces that Golden State simply wasn't willing to give up. From his perspective, this wasn't close at all. This was a deal that might not happen. Now imagine watching that live. Two trusted sources, both confident, both detailed, both completely contradicting each other. The studio didn't even know how to react. And honestly, neither did the fans. Because here's the thing, both sides made sense. On one hand, the Warriors do need a player like Maxey, desperately. Because let's be real for a second, Steph Curry is still elite, but he can't carry everything forever. Klay Thompson has had flashes, but the consistency isn't what it used to be. Draymond Green still brings intensity and defense, but also volatility. The core is aging, and the gaps are starting to show. On the other hand, trading for Maxey isn't simple. The salary cap is tight. The assets are limited, and giving up too much could destroy any chance of competing immediately. That's the risk. So now you've got two narratives. One saying the Warriors are pushing hard and getting close. The other saying the cost is too high and the deal is basically stalled. And this is where things get interesting, because if you really understand how the NBA works, you start to see something else. Negotiations are never linear. They move, they stop, they shift. One day it looks done, the next day it looks impossible. That's how deals are built. And sometimes what gets reported isn't just information, It's strategy. Think about it. If the Warriors want leverage, what's the best way to create it? Make it seem like you're willing to walk away. If the Sixers think Golden State is backing off, maybe they lower their demands. That's how front offices operate. That's the game within the game. And suddenly, the idea that the deal is stalled doesn't necessarily mean it's dead. It might just mean both sides are pushing each other to the limit. Meanwhile, if Woj's sources are coming from the broader league, from agents, from executives connected to the situation, then his view might reflect the bigger picture, the ongoing effort to make something happen. So now you're not choosing between right and wrong. You're looking at two different angles of the same negotiation. And when you step back and analyze everything, the fit becomes impossible to ignore. Maxey in Golden State isn't just a good move. It's a transformational one. He brings youth, speed, scoring, and most importantly, a bridge to the future. A player who can learn from Curry while still contributing at a high level right now. Because let's be honest, the Warriors are stuck between two timelines. They want to win now, but they also need to prepare for what comes next. And finding a player who can do both, that's rare. Maxey might be that player, but again, the cost matters. If Golden State has to give up too much, they risk weakening the very team they're trying to improve. That's the balance. That's the tension. And this is why this entire situation feels so intense. Because it's not just about one trade. It's about the direction of the franchise. Are the Warriors all in on one last run with Curry? Or are they quietly transitioning into the next era? This move could answer that question. Now, right in the middle of all this, I need you to do something. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment your take. Do you think Maxey to Golden State is the right move, or is the price too high? I want to hear where you stand, because the more you look at it, the more it feels like this isn't over. Even during that live broadcast, things started to shift. Updates coming in, tone changing. The same reporter who said the deal was stalled suddenly mentioning that conversations might have resumed. That alone tells you everything. This is active. This is fluid. This is happening. And when deals reach this stage, where both sides have already discussed frameworks, where names and picks are on the table, it usually means one thing. They're trying to find a way to say yes. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow. But when the interest is real on both sides, deals have a way of coming back to life. And if it does happen, think about the impact. Steph Curry and Tyrese Maxey in the same backcourt. Movement, spacing, pace. It would be one of the most dangerous offensive combinations in the league. Defenses wouldn't know where to look. One mistake, and it's over. And beyond the present, it sets up the future. Because eventually, Curry won't be there. And when that moment comes, the Warriors need someone ready to take over. Someone who understands the system, the culture, the expectations. Maxey fits that timeline. But again, nothing is guaranteed. This is the NBA. Things fall apart all the time. Deals collapse. Plans change. One decision can shift everything. So right now, we're in that window of uncertainty, where multiple outcomes are possible, where one report says yes, another says no, and the truth is somewhere in between. And honestly, that's what makes it so compelling. Because we're not just watching a rumor. We're watching a potential turning point for one of the most important franchises of the last decade. And before we wrap this up, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your opinion below. These conversations only get better when real fans get involved. So here's the big question. If you're the Warriors, do you go all in and pay the price for Tyrese Maxey? Or do you walk away and risk missing out on the player who could define your next era?